how to find your mixed voice. You see, most vocal coaches, they don't explain this. If only one of my first few vocal coaches that I've learned from taught me and just explained to me this concept that I'm about to share with you, I would have wasted so much less time trying to find my mixed voice. Most vocal coaches, how do they teach you how to find your mixed voice? It's very simple. It's a trend I've been seeing so many different times. Here's how it goes. So the more weird, the more unusual, the more sophisticated, the more special, the more crazy the vocal exercise, the better it must be. Right? If it is a new vocal exercise to help me find my mixed voice, if it's a new vocal exercise to help me build my mixed voice, if it's a new vocal exercise to let me get my mixed voice, then I'm so happy, and I'm going to try that mixed voice, and I'm going to try the vocal exercise. And you see, new is sexy, and you believe that, hey, this new vocal exercise is going to be the next thing, or the last thing, the final thing that is going to finally help me unlock my magical mixed voice and allow me to sing those high notes that I've always wanted to sing. Hey, look, wake up your fucking dream and pay attention to whatever I'm about to tell you next. You see, practicing different vocal exercises is not wrong, but it is about why you practice it and how do you practice the vocal exercise. Let me show you what I mean. A very basic vocal exercise that we have all done 1,000 times. The lip trill. Okay? I can either do it this way. Or I can do it this way. Or another vocal exercise, you can do the NG slide, which is one of my favorite vocal exercise, by the way. We can either do it this way. Or we can also do it this way. And most of the time, we hear people say, oh, you have to smoothen out that break that you hear in your vocal slide. And the more you practice, just practice more. And then eventually you'll be able to smoothen out that break and everything will be fine. And then you will find your mixed voice. But have you ever asked yourself, why does doing it many times helps us smoothen out that break? And more importantly, is there any way that we can smoothen out that break faster so that we don't take years to finally smoothen that break by doing shit tons of repetitions without knowing actually what we are doing or what we are trying to achieve here? You see, the first thing and the most important thing we have to do is to first find our high placement and keep all our notes, regardless high notes or low notes, in this high placement when we are doing whatever exercise that you want to do. Because the moment I do this exercise in my high placement, my voice stops breaking. But the moment I come back to a low, heavy and stubborn chest voice placement, my voice breaks. So what the exercise, regardless whether is it or is it what it's really trying to do is that it is trying to influence you into a high placement, but you don't realize it consciously. Does that make sense? And as a result, what happens is you just keep doing it multiple times, and then you pray and hope that you will naturally be influenced into that high placement. This is why the same vocal exercise, some people, they will say, fuck, this is what I need. Wow, damn, this vocal exercise is so good. And they find their mixed voice almost instantly. And they find it permanently within just 10 to 15 minutes. And then there'll also be other people who will say, fuck this shit, this vocal exercise is useless. Well, you see, those people who says that whatever vocal exercise is useless or whatever, it is just because naturally it is harder for them to be to be just influenced by a vocal exercise into their high placement. And that is why their voice keeps breaking, because they're just stuck in that low and heavy, stubborn chest voice placement, and a simple vocal exercise doesn't influence them out of their heavy chest voice placement. But instead, if you can understand this high placement and you start keeping all your high notes in this high placement, like what Ariana Grande talked about in this interview.
I've been speaking in a slightly higher placement than I usually speak in because I've been doing a lot of interviews all day and I'm trying to keep my voice healthy. But it sounds a tiny bit raspy still, but I'm trying. But I usually talk like lazy and like gravelly. But I'm trying to place it healthier. I'm really happy that my voice remained healthy the whole time. I think that means that I'm singing in a healthy placement and using correct technique.
And then you'll be able to discover the real secret to finding your mixed voice. And how do you have a permanent mixed voice? A mixed voice that doesn't just plays hide and seek with you. Maybe some days where you're lucky you get a mixed voice, and other days where you're not lucky you fall back into a low and stubborn chest voice, or you flip into a falsetto. And that's also why great singers like Bruno Mars, like Shawn Mendes, Sam Smith, Ed Sheeran, Jungkook, Harry Styles, for them, singing high notes in their mixed voice is really not difficult for them, because they have already found their high placement and they are keeping all their high notes in the high placement. If I go a bit deeper, so that their high notes can resonate in that high placement, because now the high placement, it gives your acoustic energy a strong support point which can form a standing wave. But well, if you don't understand that, it's fine. It's just really complicated physics to explain why this high placement actually works. So if you really want to find your mixed voice, then what it really means is this: you have to first find your high placement, because accessing your high placement is what gives you your mixed voice and what allows your mixed voice to be permanent. Have you ever had those instances where, you're just practicing some vocal exercise and then totally out of nowhere you suddenly land into your mixed voice and that high notes just feels so easy suddenly? Like it's a weird feeling, like you can't explain it, but maybe a day or two later where you're trying to sing again, you lost that feeling of the mixed voice, and then you have to somehow try to find that feeling again. You see, what is really happening is this: that moment when you found your high notes to be easy, when you're really in a mixed voice, in your high note, what is really happening is momentarily you accidentally landed into your high placement. And that is why, for that moment, suddenly your high notes feel so easy. But the problem is this: you don't know how to find it permanently. And that is why after a day or two, you lost that feeling. But what you really mean is that you don't know how to access the high placement permanently. So how do we actually start accessing our high complete mixed voice vocal placement? You see, when it comes to high placement, there are two high placement, but the high placement that we need to sing our mixed voice in is the complete mixed voice placement. The other high placement is called the head voice placement. And why do we want the head voice placement? It's very simple. It is because your head voice placement is a high placement and your complete mixed voice placement is slightly lower than your head voice placement. Because let's put it this way: your head voice placement is here, your complete mixed voice vocal placement is here, and your low, stubborn and heavy chest voice vocal placement is this level, which is far from your head voice and your complete mixed voice vocal placement. So in order to even get close to finding that complete mixed voice vocal placement, you first have to find an even higher placement called the head voice placement. And how do we do that? It's actually easier than we think. So first of all, we first have to train our head voice. So when I'm doing my head voice, I can find my head voice placement through the head voice very easily. Have a try. And then, to get the complete mixed voice vocal placement, here's the key. The moment you understand this key, if you truly understand this and you can truly apply it, you will get instant mixed voice and it'll be permanent. It will no longer play hide and seek with you. The secret is this. I'm going to compress into that high head voice placement. When I compress into that high head voice placement, I will land perfectly into my complete mixed voice vocal placement. Watch. Back into my head voice placement. So the moment I compress into I instantly get my mixed voice. And I find it permanently. So if you can really understand this, this is powerful. Whatever I just told you, let me put it simply this way. I spent thousands of dollars with vocal coaches to understand this and to be able to apply this. If you can understand this, it's going to change your singing, because then it allows you to find your high, complete, mixed voice vocal placement. And when you do find that high, complete, mixed voice vocal placement, you are going to find your mixed voice and find your mixed voice for good. Find your mixed voice permanently so that it stops playing fucking hide and seek with you like you're a fucking baby, alright? So you can go ahead and play around with whatever I just told you, and I hope that you can find your high, complete, mixed voice vocal placement by doing that. But look, if you want to know exactly step by step how you can access your complete mixed voice vocal placement, then I've actually created an entire online course to teach you how to do so. And there's no way I can just, explain the whole theory, the whole vocal exercise and everything here in a short YouTube video, because that comprehensive course to help you access your complete mixed voice vocal placement fast and permanently is over 5 hours long. And a lot of things that is in that course, they are really going to aid whatever I've just told you. And once you combine everything in that course with that power secret I just told you, fuck dude, you're going to be able to unlock your high notes faster than you can imagine. I've done it over the past 1 year, and my private clients have accessed their high, complete, mixed voice placement even faster than I did after, me telling them all the mistakes that I made and how they can access the high placement fast. Alright, look, so if you want to find out how to unlock your complete mixed voice placement, then follow the link in the description box below and get a copy. Hey, my name is JJ and I'm going to do some push-ups today. And I'll catch you in my next video. hiss.